Have you heard about a 15-foot tall giant attacking our troops in Afghanistan? It's true.
I've got something scary, spooky, and silly coming up on the Road Beyond podcast.
You're on the Road Beyond. Welcome. I'm Todd Duplantis. Welcome to the show. We're coming to you from the Houston City College television studios today. Doug O'Brien, my co-host, with me.
Houston's Eagle. And don't forget, you can like, follow, and share what you see here. We're on all the social media sites. We're also on YouTube at the Road Beyond podcast. Now, you said something a little crazy at the top. What is this about a giant?
Now, this is a story that's really taken over the internet, but it's been around for about 20 years now. It goes back to, it's one of the internet's most persistent modern legends. Claims during the early years of the U.S. war in Afghanistan, American special forces encountered a 12 to 15 foot tall giant near Kandahar. Now, the story is known as, believe it or not, the Giant of Kandahar. And it circulated for nearly 2 decades on paranormal shows. I've heard it on, I know Art Bell talked about it on Coast to Coast AM. It's been all over the place. Now, according to legend, sometime around 2002, a special ops team searching for a missing patrol came across a human figure said to be standing 12 to 15 feet tall. The creature is described as having red hair, pale skin, 6 fingers on each hand, and 2 rows of teeth, features that often linked it to ancient mythological giants. The encounter allegedly turned violent when the creature killed one of the U.S. soldiers using a spear or primitive weapon. Now, the story claims the remaining troops responded by just like dumping their guns on it, you know, trying to shoot it.
Now that picture is AI, right?
That is, well,
I just want to make sure.
I think that was an artist rendering done years ago.
Okay.
It's been out there on the internet for a long time. But they say they eventually took the creature down, but like fired hundreds of rounds in it.
Well, when you're that size, I can only imagine.
Now, believers believe the body weighed more than 1,000 pounds and was airlifted from the site to another location.
Right.
And everybody there had to sign non-disclosure agreements. Now, the legend gained traction in the mid-2000s when it was being promoted by a couple of radio people. One of them, a content creator, author, paranormal expert, L.A. Marzulli, and another radio host named Steve Quayle. He, in fact, wrote a book on this, and they framed it as possible evidence of ancient Nephilim.
Okay, so we've heard, now I have heard this rumor before.
Right.
The lack of evidence is concerning, but I heard about the airlifting, that I have heard about.
There's no physical evidence, so you're exactly right. No photos, no mission reports, no names of fallen soldiers connected to the incident. Military community sites like Together We Served and Reddit discussions frequently describe this as what they call a barracks story, or a story that's just passed around when you're killing time in the barracks. So could it be real? I've seen interviews, and they're out there on the internet. You can search for interviews with people who claim to be there. They don't show their face because they don't want to be identified, but they purport the story to be true.
In the Kandahar region, correct me if I'm wrong, don't they produce a known drug named Kush? I'm just saying, could that have been involved in this?
Well,
or where does this originate? I guess that's my real question.
Well, experts in folklore and psychology note that war zones are especially fertile zones for legends and things happening there that spread word real quickly.
Okay.
And today, the Giant of Kandahar is widely classified as a modern urban legend shaped by a modern warfare amplified by the internet.
It just sounds like something you would see on the WWE, you know, the Iron Sheik against the Giant of Kandahar.
I first heard about this on Coast to Coast AM. I always listen at night. And,
great show.
Great show. And heard the story with L.A. Marzulli, who had supposedly interviewed some of the people involved. He teamed up with this Stephen Quayle guy who has written books on giants, which are fascinating books. He's done a lot of research on that. And they, have made I believe a documentary on this that's
Wow.
out there in the internet. So there's content out there. Those pictures I was showing you, they're on the web out there. They've been created for decades.
Well, giants in the legends of giants have been around forever.
Yeah.
I believe there are biblical references
well,
to
think
giants.
of David and Goliath.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, that's what they're thinking, you know, before the Great Flood. The Great Flood was engineered by God
Right.
to really kill all the pestilence on earth, which were at that time were man-eating giants
Right.
that were walking around, because the Nephilim were the Nephilim, but the Anunnaki bred with human women and created a bunch of giants that were just roaming the earth.
The story just gets weirder the more we talk
Well,
about
you think
it.
about it, maybe one of them survived in the mountains of Kandahar.
I mean,
you know?
anything is
That's what-
possible.
anything's possible.
How is
these
that any
days.
different than the Bigfoot legend?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But, so we're going to go from your scary story.
Yeah.
I have a real scary story.
Okay.
So picture this. Imagine, we all know about AI and robots and everything, right?
Right.
So imagine a robot, but not metal joints, not clunky hinges, something hanging in a lab, twitching and flexing, all right? It's built with the blueprint of your body. It actually has 206 human-like bones, just like we do.
Okay.
Over 1,000 artificial muscles pulling and contracting like real
And
ones.
it's hanging in a lab.
Yes, take a look at this and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, God. That's just,
That is real.
wow.
That is a prototype that is being
Wow.
built by Protoclone. And their idea and their goal is to make it more like the human body. The thing about
They're
robots,
succeeding so far from what I can
it's
see.
terrifying
Can they
to
get it to
look
walk,
at.
though?
That's their goal,
Yeah.
right? So when you think of robots, you think of the more metallic, right? They look very
Yeah.
robotic,
You think of
for
the
lack
one
of a better
like
word.
Tesla's building.
They
Yeah.
are wanting to really build a synthetic body because their goal is to have it work in human environments, whether it's at home doing
Yeah.
your laundry or cleaning your house, or at the job. They also want it to do that. Now, there are obviously some serious concerns, both moral and workplace, right? So it doesn't look like a robot anymore.
Right.
It can
It looks
look
more
like
like a
a
human.
real person.
Yeah.
So what if they build one to look like you?
Right.
Now, it'd be great when you have to go to a meeting, right? You just
And the
send
robot
in your
just goes
robot.
in. Yeah.
Nobody knows, but
Wow.
people are going to develop emotional attachments to
Well,
these
that's where I
things.
was going with this,
Yeah.
because I heard I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying within 30 years, it's already happening now, there are going to be people who are literally married to AI. They have no interest in dealing with other humans because apparently us humans are just really complex, but AI is there for
Right.
them when they need them.
And it'll have a body.
They'll have a body,
Yep.
and that's where the next generation of spouses are coming from. That's
And-
where this is going.
That's the terrifying part, because most AI, like if you use
Right.
chat or any of the
Yeah.
others, they're always agreeing with you,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
program it to do or say pretty much anything
Right.
you want and to just affirm everything you say or you feel. So in
Yeah.
the future, how are you going to tell who's real and who's not? And
That's-
that's scary.
Well, remember that movie? What was it? Was it not Blade Runner? Luke's. Well, no, it was. It was one of these movies back in the '70s
Mhm.
about the future. And part of the deals where you had humans and then you had robots.
Logan's Run?
Logan's Run,
Okay,
and a lot
yeah.
of the robots looked exactly human.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's scary. And then we also have to consider it's
Yeah.
going to take over jobs. So
Yeah.
you're going to be out of a job. You're going to have a robot like iRobot, right?
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
going to look human. I think Black Mirror did an episode
Yeah,
about it
yeah,
where
yeah.
somebody had a
That's a disturbing series. I
It
had to
is
stop
because it's
watching.
so realistic.
Yeah, after the pig one, the one with the
Yeah,
pig,
that one.
that was it. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm done. This is it for that series,
But
and I haven't gone
it's a
back
great
since.
series if you can get past that one. That
Yeah,
one is
oh
very
God, oh
disturbing.
jeez.
But it just opens the door to so many things
Yeah.
that are terrifying. I mean, when you think about who you're meeting, I mean, it's bad enough to get catfish. You're going to get robot fish. Like, what's going to?
Well, I mean,
It's-
think
it's
about where
frightening.
we're going. I mean, we're at Houston City College. We started one of the first AI programs
Right.
in the nation, first
Yeah.
for a community college. And the developments in AI and robotics here is just mind-boggling. Just think and how far it's come in the last 3 years and where it's going to go in the next 30. It's kind of exciting, but very, very scary.
It's exciting, but it's also terrifying.
Yeah.
But
As to where we're
I
gonna
have
go.
something later on that will help ease your mind a little
I've
bit.
got something that's going to ease everyone's mind. But, you know, we've been talking about disclosure, UFO disclosure. Trump's about to release all the files. Could we already be there? In fact, is there a soft launch going on right now on UFO disclosure? That's coming up next.
What would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
Here in Houston, we're always planning the next step.
That step starts at Houston City College.
From caring
To creating.
to coding.
HCC is the college Houston needs. Take your next step here.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast. I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle, along with Todd Duplantis from Houston City College. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah. Houston.
Studios, TV
Yeah,
studios.
TV studios, that's right.
I never
yeah.
do that part. So, but you can always follow us on social media, all the platforms, including YouTube at the Road Beyond podcast.
So what do you got?
All right. So I want you again, picture
Yeah.
this. You're driving down a dark road. All right.
Okay.
There are no cars. It's just you and this road,
Yeah.
woods on both sides, right? All of a sudden, in front of you, another car appears out of nowhere. There is a legend that comes out from 1948 of a young couple out late. They had been drinking.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know where
Car
this is going.
veers off the road.
Yeah.
They are killed instantly. That's 1948.
Right.
This is happening in West Milford, Clinton Road in West Milford. Take a look at this dash cam footage and see what you see on this. It's just a dark road.
Uh-huh.
You're driving along, and then this happens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that looks like a 1940s model coupe.
It does. It does. Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, 1948 crash.
This
So,
story has been around for a while, and there have been reports of people seeing that car appearing out of nowhere and then crashing into the woods.
you know, that type of legend is really going around everywhere. You hear these legends. I saw something the other day of this Uber driver that had a woman in the back seat. She was talking to him, and she disappears.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
And it's,
so-
I
and
just
that's-
can't imagine, because I grew up in a small
Yeah.
town and I've been on roads like that. And that's creepy enough because you're worried about deer or any
Yeah.
other things. But to see a ghost car, I would have to double check my dash cam footage, because that's nuts.
A lot of things today are being caught on recorded.
Right.
rather. We've been talking about disclosure on this show for the last few months, especially since Trump said that he's going to release the UFO files. The government's already got, aliens.gov and alien.gov purchased. Well, over the last 2 weeks, and I've talked about it in the show before, but I'm starting to see more and more UFO videos that don't appear to be AI. In fact, this one here, I'm going to show you 3 videos that seem the most intriguing this past week, and they keep popping up in my feed. Here's the first one. All that's said about this one is it appeared over the skies of Las Vegas. But take a look at the UFO itself. This is the classic shape that a lot of people will call. Take a look at the video here. But look at this.
Oh, wow.
And you'll see the lightning flash. Now, to me, it could be a drone. That's a possibility, but you can't really tell how high up it is.
That looks pretty big, though.
The sky, but it looks pretty large. Now, I've got another one we're going to show as well. Supposedly, this one was leaked from the NASA files. Now, of course, NASA hasn't come forward and said, yeah, it's us, but take a look at the video. This is another one that's out there. And if you are on the X platform, you're going to see more and more of these, and I'm kind of wondering, is someone out there leaking these videos for a reason to
Are we seeing
condition us?
people? Are we beings?
You don't know. You don't know. That's the close. Now, this
Interesting.
next one I'm going to show you, this one kept, and this is possibly, if it's real, this has got to be the best UFO video I've ever seen. Take a look at this video right here. And what the user did, the user is, this is, I think it's, which one is it? This, can't see the username on there. This was recorded about 2 minutes, and supposedly it's over Nellis Air Force Base. And then another guy took this same video and put it through AI, and he made it clearer.
Oh, okay.
And it's just incredible, but it appeared for about 2 minutes. And this was over, and you're hearing reports now that a lot of these UAVs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them these days, are appearing over military installations. Now, there are, of course, people in this government that are stepping forward and talking about aliens or interdimensional beings. Here's our good friend Tim Burchett. He's been on the show like every week for the past.
I've seen him so much lately.
He's from Tennessee, of course. Take a listen to what he says.
A very high-ranking naval official described, I've talked about this before, underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour. And there's no fish in the ocean that would do that. We don't even have a sub that'll probably do 40 miles an hour under the... and the last thing he said before he left my office was, it was kind of weird because he didn't go out he went out the side door, which nobody ever uses. And he looked at me, pulled me up close, and he said, Tim, they're real.
The other day on CNN, they were doing a story about an official with FEMA who just came out one day during a congressional hearing and said, oh yeah, I was teleported to the Waffle House.
Yes,
and
I heard about
CNN's like, we can't believe we're reporting this stuff, but he said it happened. Well, then apparently he was told not to talk about teleportation. However, at Hillsdale College, a U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General, Stephen L. Kwast, stated that the U.S. military and intelligence community possesses the ability to transport any individual anywhere. Take a listen.
Energy, the seed corn of all development, all growth, all survival, energy. So energy, transport. This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour. To deliver Wi-Fi from space where you never need a cell tower to connect.
So there you go. You've got it coming out. People are saying it, and it's all over the place. So my point, as I talked about earlier, disclosure, I think, is being, spoon-fed to us. So it won't be such a big thing.
I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
The one you had over the Air Force Base, that one is believable mostly because it's over an Air Force Base.
Right.
Whether it's ours or someone else's, I think what we're going to find out is a lot of this is ours. I still think the disclosure is going to be we got technology from downed craft over the years.
Yeah.
Right? The teleportation, to me, in theory, and if you don't know what that is, if it doesn't make sense,
think Star Trek.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Beam me up, Scotty, right? I definitely think that is going to be possible. I don't know if it's really happening yet. I think it's going to be one of those, we have the technology, we have the blueprint, but have they actually done it where they move someone from one place to another, not in theory, but in real life, and they reassembled correctly? That I don't know.
Well,
I'm skeptical.
We talk about disclosure. I think we're going to learn something. Of course, Doug here thinks it's going to be a big nothing burger. But if they release it to us in bits and pieces, we're going to eventually desensitize ourselves to it. So when we get the real thing, it's either going to be like, oh, okay, or people's minds are going to be blown. Now, there was a user on X, I was reading it earlier today, and I may actually do something on this next week, but he lays out a theory. The problem with releasing this disclosure is it's going to make people question everything about the world around us. Everything we thought was true, scientists told you were true, was not necessarily true. Religious beliefs will be questioned. And that's the reason why Burchett, as he said, if people know what I've heard, it's going to set the world on fire.
Well, we're almost there, though. We've already gotten to where there is a large number of people who don't believe that our government is telling the truth. They don't believe a lot of religious leaders. They don't believe elections really happen the way they happen.
Right.
So we're already questioning that. So you think basically what's happening is a big psyop where they're already psychologically preparing us
I think
for
they're
disclosure
leaking
day.
it out there, instead of just saying it's
That's
all
possible.
available on the internet, they're leaking it out there.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible. I think more than anything, Disclosure Day is just going to make sense of what
Yeah.
we've seen. I don't think it's going to be anything. I mean, there might be a couple of things that shock us, but I think more than anything, it's going to be this is here because of this.
Well,
we developed this, and now we have this.
And this whole Spielberg movie, from what what I was reading and what I've heard for years, is that he was actually shown film from and what happened at the end of Close Encounters
Right.
actually happened on an airbase, and they filmed it, showed that to him, and that's how he recreated the scene for the movie.
Oh, okay.
He's obviously in on something,
yeah.
knowing more, especially if his movies turn out to be true.
See, okay. See, I think you touched on something. If there is anything fascinating that comes
Yeah.
from a Disclosure Day, it's going to be stuff from 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Because today, first of all, nobody can keep their mouth shut.
Right.
Everybody's got to put it out there, what they're doing, even if it's illegal. But there's no way somebody has video and they just don't want the clout from putting it online. Now, stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, yeah, I think that's entirely possible. But we'll see.
We'll learn more shortly. Okay, coming up, we're going to show you the new Tesla extended battery.
And I got something to ease your mind after all this.
We'll be back after this.
And as floodwaters continue to rise, thousands are left destitute.
We already see major fire spread.
Hundreds of homes have been destroyed by the wildfires, which continue to blaze.
The storm barreled ashore overnight, packing 130-mile-per-hour winds.
Utter devastation. Now search and rescue efforts.
Across the country, disasters have left many in need of emergency shelter.
You can help those impacted by disasters big and small. Give now.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
You're on the Road Beyond podcast. I'm Todd Duplantis with Doug O'Brien.
Yes, so we set things up. We've talked about robots that are terrifying. We've talked about other things.
It's been a heavy show.
We're going to ease your mind a little bit. Take a look at this because we were promised the future with robots, and they can be frightening, but I don't know that all the robots are there just yet. Take a look at this. So
God, yeah. Oh, and he gets run over too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So they're built for precision, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not all of them are quite precise. Imagine this as your coworker.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good AI right there. That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Most of the robots are not.
Have you seen the one that's chasing the pig, the wild pigs?
No,
away?
I haven't seen that one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But basically, the robots, not all of them are quite at the point where they're ready to take over the world. But remember, they'll remember if we laughed at them.
Yeah. Be nice to AI.
Just be prepared.
You'll be thanking me one day. I've been talking about I want to get a Tesla.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest concerns, though, is with a Tesla is the battery. The more you spend on the battery, the longer drive range you have. Well, Tesla has come out with an affordable way of extending your battery's usage. In fact, take a look at this video of a guy who installed one in his Tesla himself. He decided to put it in the trunk area. There you go. And there's your battery right there. It extends your battery at least an extra 20 miles. But of course, so if you want to get your dog exercise and extend your Tesla's battery, that's the best way to do it.
I mean, you accomplish two things at one time.
Exactly.
So
I saw that video. I thought it was a cute video.
That's not bad at all. Corgis just cracked me up. But
we
still have to do the Tesla where we go to the graveyard.
Oh, we've been talking about that.
Yeah,
Benji's got a Tesla.
We're going to give that a try to see if we can see.
I've got the perfect location for it too. Yeah, we got to get out in the field and do another report soon.
Absolutely.
We'll do that in a future show. Hey, that wraps up this week's show. But next week, you never know what the hell can happen next week. There's
so much happens every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but one way or another, I'm Todd Duplantis.
I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle.
We'll see you next week on the Road Beyond podcast.
See you later.